So we get Paul from Dublin, Ireland. Everyone else, if you can type in your name and where you're from, that'd be great. Here we go. Pete from Queensland, Australia. Welcome, Pete. I know for Paul it's about midnight. How about Pete? What time is it over there for you? We have Deborah from Florida. Hi, Deborah. Who else we got? Come on, type in your name and your location if you would. Where are you from in Florida, Deborah? Hudson, okay. Don't know. Elva from Arlington, Texas. Welcome. Good to see you here. Time in Australia is 9 a.m. So I would imagine it's 9 a.m. tomorrow. You're probably ahead of us. Kent from San Diego. Welcome, Kent. Good to see you. Who else we got? Well, I know we've got a lot more people on here. Rob from Texas. Welcome, Rob. Hudson is just north of Tampa. Okay, that helps. Of course, the only place I know is Orlando, right? Jerome from Cincinnati. Good to see you, Jerome. And Veronica from Toronto, Canada. So we get people from all over. Getting a lot of echo. If you have a mute button on your side, you might want to mute it. So a lot of times from the other end, when people are talking, it comes back. But the echo shouldn't be from this end because I only have one thing going. Let me check this, make sure this one doesn't have something on. I got a couple computers. And if I have Ustream on both computers, sometimes that sets off an echo, but not this time. Let's see. Hopefully I don't lose anybody by doing this. Okay. And I just shut off another Ustream here. Does that sound any better? Let's see. Beverly Clausen from California. Hi, Bev. And Kurt from Bristol. Good, so we got quite a few people. Bristol, Tennessee. Quite a few people. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm sure other people are going to come in as we get going. So, excuse me. Tonight's topic is going to be stress, healing, and the reasons why it works or doesn't, okay? But before we get started, since we are talking about health matters, I do need to start out with a disclaimer for both my safety and yours as well. So, here we go. I am not a medical or healthcare professional, and anything I say here in the way of treatment or advice is my own opinion and comes from my personal experiences, study, and research as a hypnosis practitioner and instructor. Before you do anything of a health-related matter, be sure to seek out the advice and approval of a licensed and qualified medical practitioner. By watching this, you agree that we are not held liable in any way for any mishap, occurrence, or anything of a negative nature that may be related directly or indirectly by the information released during this video. Thank you. Okay, now that we get back that, since we're in such a litigious society, we had to get that out of the way. So, let me see. Let's get going. Now, what I want to talk about, so we're going to start by talking about stress first. As you probably all know, stress is something that's in pretty much any kind of disorder there is, okay? Whether it be psoriasis all the way up to stroke, heart attack, whatever you can think of, usually you see stress rearing its ugly head in there, okay? So I want to start off by talking about stress. What does it affect? Okay, so we went through that, but I mean, how many of us does it affect? Because think of it, most people, I know here in America and probably worldwide because it's busy everywhere, live approximately 80 to 85% of their lives in a state of stress. Think of that. That's a lot of stress going on. I want to talk about where stress exists. Okay, this is important. Stress exists in the future and in the past. It doesn't exist in the now. There is no stress in now. So for those of you that have taken my course, whether it be through home study course or live course, you realize that once you cross over that threshold from the beta to the alpha state, or basically the hypnotic state or the subconscious, the true subconscious is only now. There is no time. Past and future is in the conscious mode, is in the beta brainwave state. So by relaxing, we're going to talk about a lot of other ways. Just by relaxing, closing your eyes, you can eliminate most of your stress. For those of you that didn't realize, just the art of closing your eyes blocks out approximately 80% of beta activity. Of course, beta is your conscious mode, your busy mode, your all the things based around the five senses. You're working, typing, talking to people. So if you block out 80% of beta activity, you're actually bringing yourself 80% into the alpha brainwave state, where stress starts to go away. Of course, when you get deeper into alpha, you're in the true subconscious, or what we call the right brain state, where there is no stress. Okay, I want to actually use some visual aids tonight, so I brought a board with me, and I'm hoping that you're all going to be able to see my handy drawing as I do it. I'm hoping this is going to work out. So, you're going to see what kind of an artist I am. Okay, so if I draw right over here, how does that look? Does that look like a person? All right. So here's the normal person. Here's the brain. In the front of the brain, we have the forebrain. So I'm going to put 4BR. Okay, can all of you see that? Good, thank you. Good artwork. I appreciate that. Okay, we got the forebrain. We got the, I'm going to put RB. That's not Rene Bastarache, so that's rear brain, okay? We got the forebrain, we got the rear brain, only because there's no space to write the whole word, okay? Over here, I'm going to make this a line. I'm going to call this the immune system. System, SYS, and the viscera. Just so you know, the forebrain is responsible for your original thought. So, are you able to see the words as well? I hope so. If not, I could probably bring it a little closer and more up. There we go. Okay, so if I were to make a line going right through here, a separation line, here's what's going to happen. When we're talking about stress, as soon as you become stressed, what happens is everything on this side of the line shuts down. All the blood flow and everything goes into the rear brain in what they call the fight or flight mode, okay? So if everything on this side shuts down, that means your original thinking shuts down. That means your immune system shuts down, very important. And of course, everything going to the viscera, which is all the, the heart and the lungs and all your good stuff inside your body cavity. So it's important to understand that stress shuts down everything on this side and goes to the rear brain. Now, the rear brain, let's talk about that. What's the rear brain for? The rear brain is responsible for your fight or flight, strong bones, quick reaction time, strength, your bulk. It's your quick reaction thinking, okay? Now, initially, okay, during the time of primitive man, this was great. Because primitive man, all he had to worry about was where's he going to get his food, maybe neighboring natives, how is he going to keep away from them, and the occasional saber-toothed tiger coming after him, right? So let's say he sees a tiger coming after him. Right away, he goes into stress. It shuts off everything over here because he doesn't need to worry about healing. He needs to either run, he needs the quickness to run, or the strength and agility and reaction time to be able to fight this animal. Now, once it's over and he lived, hopefully, okay, he can start thinking about relaxing. The forebrain, his original thinking comes out, so now he can start thinking about how can I plan so this doesn't happen again? Can I maybe team up with some other natives so we can fight this guy? Can I come up with some kind of a weapon? Can I, feed him and become a buddy with him? Hope he doesn't do that because he won't live long. But What can he do to be able to solve this problem? He needs his original thinking. Also, in case he was injured, when he relaxes, now his immune system can open up so he can heal his wounds and move on. So let's go a little further. Let's think about what's happening in a lot of the hospitals today, okay? This is what I call the death sentence. You've probably heard of this before. Have you ever heard of the scenario when a doctor tells his patient that has cancer or something, you have 6 months left to live? When the patient hears this, many cases, probably most cases, that patient will die 6 months to the day. You know, it's even happened before where the doctor gave this sentence, as I call it, to the patient, you have 6 months left to live. The patient died 6 months later, come to find out he never even had cancer, just from the fear. Now, occasionally, you hear about this one person, this one superstar, that once he gets the news, says, well, I'm going to go out with a bang. I'm going to enjoy my life. They went out, they spent all their money, they had a grand time, traveled the world, saw all the things and did all the things they wanted to do. When they came back to the doctor a few months later, he checked them out and was astonished. Wow, you're cured. What happened? Well, when he told them they had 6 months left to live, basically, the ones that died, they went into fight or flight mode and their immune system couldn't open. The one that came back and it was gone, they lived a great life. The immune system stayed open. They were able to heal themselves with all the happy, good things that kept it open. Okay, so let's think of that. We live approximately 80 to 85% of our lives in a state of stress. Your clients do too. That's one of the biggest things. When your clients come in to see you, are they in stress? First of all, try to get rid of the stress right there in their office. And I believe last week we spoke about an exercise with the postcards of how to relax them. If you didn't see that, go on our YouTube site or on this site and look at last week's lesson, and you'll see some really good ways to eliminate stress. So you want to eliminate stress when they first come in, but you also want to show them how to eliminate stress in their life, how to get rid of it. Of course, hypnosis is a great stress reliever, okay? Now, so we spoke about stress. I want to give this another example to you. Okay, let's compare this to the city of Chicago. Let's imagine Chicago during a wartime. Let's say Chicago is right in the middle of World War II, okay? I know my geography is a little bit off here, but all of a sudden, you have a big city, everything's working well, has machinery, agriculture, all kinds of business infrastructure. All of a sudden, what happens is the air raid sirens start going off. What do people do? They all rush into the bomb shelters. Now, what would happen if they stayed in these bomb shelters without coming out? If the all clear signal didn't sound? Well, the infrastructure would fall apart. Machinery would start to rust. It would break. All the agriculture would rot. Basically, the city would come to its knees and probably, destroy and die, okay? It's the same thing with us. The all clear signal has to be sounded for the immune system to work. Now, you say, well, that's simple. I just got to make sure I'm not in stress. Well, not quite. Okay, let's go a little further here. I know there's a beam from a light at the top, so I'm going to work down here if I can. Okay, let's see. I'm just below it. You're probably all familiar with this little thing over here. It's a red light. Okay, over here in Maine, I don't know if it's like this in every country, okay, but the top is red. That means stop, and for this scenario, that will be synonymous with stress. The middle is yellow. Now, it's supposed to mean neutral, okay, but I know for most people it means go like a bat out of heck because red's coming. But for this scenario, we'll talk about yellow being neutral, okay? And green would be like healing. And I'm hoping you can all see that. So notice, red is stress. Yellow, which is the not having stress, is neutral. It's not automatically healing. Isn't that interesting? So the lack of stress is not necessarily healing. It's a neutral type thing. So neutral, if you're just in neutral, if you're not doing anything to heal, it's not helping you. So look at it this way. Stress, when you become stressed, it's an action, or we'll call it a verb. And so is healing. Green, which is healing, is also a verb. You have to do something to heal. And oh, this is cool. I have another end of the board. Look at that. So what kind of things can you do? What kind of things create the healing? Well, what do we talk about a lot on this site? Hypnosis. All you need to do is do anything that brings you beyond the alpha state, because alpha is actually the lighter of the hypnotic brainwave states, but it's not totally right brain. Alpha is left brain, right brain equally, so you still have some conscious activity going on. However, theta is totally right brain. So when you really start to relax them into the different brainwave states, okay, they start basically, can you see this? Okay, basically they're on this side. Your immune system opens up. What else besides hypnosis? Oh, we get some over here. I'm just going to copy some answers. Right, meditation. That's good when the teacher gets to cheat. Okay, meditation, hypnosis, prayer. Let's see, what else? Just relaxation. Or what I like to call daydreaming. How about Tai Chi? Yep, there we go. Tai Chi. I'm getting a lot of them. NLP. One of my favorite ones, okay? One of my favorite ones is just laughter. Do you realize how powerful laughter is? You want to open your immune system? Watch some funny movies. Now be careful what kind of funny movies you watch. About a year ago, Luca and I decided, hey, we want to begin trying to get rid of more stress in our life, okay? So how can we get rid of more stress? Let's get rid of the TV set. There's a lot of negative programming, a lot of negative advertisements and commercials, so we get rid of the TV. And I went right out and I was going to get some videos so we could play them on the computer. And I wanted to get some positive, fun-loving, happy, comedies. Big mistake. I went out and bought a whole set of the Three Stooges. Okay, they're quite violent, I found. It's been a long time since I've watched them, so Three Stooges might not be the best one. But there's a lot of good movies that aren't violent that make you feel good, okay? Playing with children when they're not messy or crying, okay, can bring out a lot of happiness and feel good. Playing with your cat. Right now, my cat, you can't see him, he's about 5 feet over there, about 3 feet over there, on this desk, sleeping in his little bin. Okay, it brings me pleasure. I see that, it brings a smile to my face. He keeps me company while I'm working, make sure that I'm not fooling around, okay? So working, being around animals, being around babies, what makes you happy? Playing golf, sailing, Leap of Faith with Steve Martin. That talks a lot about those kind of things too, with healing and stress. And Steve Martin is just crazy to watch, period. Let's see, EFT. So we have a lot of good ideas, okay? So anything that will bring you alpha deeper will help you to alleviate stress. Now, think of all these things that I said right here. Another interesting thing, since we're talking about healing, is a topic of depression. Now, like I said before, not a doctor, I'm giving you my opinion, but here's what I found in my research. When they decide someone has depression, when the doctor, by the way, it is the doctors that make the decision, there's no cut and dry, it's up to their opinion of the facts, whether you have depression or not. It's separated into mild, mild, moderate, or severe depression. Now, basically severe depression, or I guess depression itself, it's a depletion of serotonin is what they found, which is one of the causes of depression. However, the SSRI drugs that they use for depression, which you've heard about a lot of them, there's Paxil, Prozac, Xanax, and the list goes on and on. Those are SSRI drugs. The purpose of those is to release serotonin in the system. However, it's been found, from what I've studied, that it only helps in some of the cases with severe depression. In moderate or mild depression, it really doesn't help at all. However, the side effects of these pills, the side effects, anywhere from diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and even suicide. So for people taking these pills that it's really not going to help and they have the possibility of suicide, that's kind of scary. But the reason I'm bringing this up, do you know what else releases serotonin naturally into the into the body? What releases serotonin naturally is hypnosis, meditation, prayer, relaxation. All of these things release serotonin because serotonin is released in the alpha brainwave state. Think of that. Serotonin is naturally released in the alpha brainwave state. Isn't that awesome? Now, again, going back to depression, why are these people taking these pills? Or why do they even have to take these pills? Well, when someone's really depressed, these are all the things they don't want to do. They don't want to go outside. Oh yeah, I was going to say outside. Just going outside for 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes of sunlight is a very good serotonin releaser. Also a very good stress releaser. So they don't want to go out into the sunlight. They don't laugh. They usually stay in their house by themselves. So all the things that would release serotonin, okay. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these SSRI drugs, okay, if you're familiar with placebos, about 1/3 of all medications are placebo. In fact, we found through our studies that this drug Prozac failed the placebo test 4 out of 5 times. 4 out of 5 times, sugar or whatever the other pill, the inert pill, beat it. Why did it pass the 5th time? And the interesting thing is, ever since this drug has been on the market, every single year, its success rate has increased more and more and more and more without changing the formula. Why? Belief. By being told by the doctor, I've given this to so many patients, it's helping so many patients, and everyone's hearing about it, it's the wonder drug. Of course, what happens? It becomes more and more famous, more and more people believe. The placebo effect heals more and more people. So, I'm not saying get off your medication. If you ever want to do that, speak to your doctor first, okay? Make sure it's okay with them. I'm just giving you an alternative to those kind of things. If you're feeling down, try some of these things. Matter of fact, I heard something from, I believe it was from Tony Robbins once. He says, if you feel depressed, here's a surefire way to eliminate it. I did this with a student just a couple days ago. If you feel depressed, stand in front of a mirror looking at yourself directly, just like this. Let's say you're the mirror and I'm looking right at you. Put your chest out, chin up, smile as big as you can, and then ask yourself, how do you feel? I can't say depressed because I look so silly. I feel happy. When you smile, you feel happy. Can you see what happens? Being happy, smiling, just that is releasing serotonin, is helping you, is making you feel better. Okay? So, I'm hoping this helps about stress. Okay, so we said we're going to talk about stress. As you know, the way I look at it, I tell people stress kills. It's very dangerous, and 80 to 85% of the people, they're stressed. Why is stress that high today comparing to primitive man? Like I said, primitive man only had to worry about meals and safety and shelter. Today, all these stresses come to us from all over the place. Think about it. You're stressed about work, you're stressed about home, you're stressed about if you have the internet, you're stressed about all the things you see there. Oh gosh, are my people going to win at the Olympics? What about the tsunamis, acid rain, the ozone layers getting thinner? All these different things. You look in the newspaper, television. When's the last time you saw something nice on television? They get paid to show you fantastic things that are so obnoxiously scary because that's what gets the ratings. If they came on the TV and said Grandma Jones made a 400-pound cookie that looks like Elvis, people are going to change the channel. But, it's kind of a fun thing, Yeah, somebody just wrote down 2012, okay, the end of the world. That caused a lot of stress. It's kind of funny because I'm wondering what they're going to do in the bookstores now. I was telling Raluca, I like to go to bookstores a lot. I was at a bookstore, Barnes & Noble, in Burlington, Mass., and they had like 2 aisles, 2 whole rows dedicated to 2012, so they're going to have a lot of empty space in that bookstore. I told Raluca what I need to do is go get all my books that they have on other shelves and put them all there so I can have my own shelf. But I have to wait a little longer before I can do that. Okay, so there's a lot of things that cause stress. So you need to find ways to alleviate stress so people can be in, of course, be not stressed, and positive things they can do to be in the green, positive things to move forward with that. All right, any questions before we move on this? I want to answer some questions over here if anybody has anything about stress. Let's see. Okay, we don't want to talk about the end of the world right now. Let's talk about positive things. Let's talk about tomorrow's income, okay? Any questions on this before we move on? No, we're still talking about the end. Okay, well, let's move on then, okay? Okay, I wanted to talk a little, 34 minutes? Yeah, let's talk a little bit about healing and pain, okay? Let's start with pain, because pain helps to understand a lot more. What is pain? We spoke a little bit about, stress before, where it exists and all that. Well, let's talk about pain. Is pain real? Oh, there's a subject, a loaded subject. I don't know if I'm going to be able to erase this or not. But if you think of pain, is pain real? Can you show it to me? Can you put it in your hands? Put it in your hands right now, okay? Here's pain. No, you can't show it to me, okay? So it's what they call subjective. It's in your head, right? Okay, now if it was real, it would be objective. So how do you get rid of pain? Okay, before I go on with this, I want you to know my feelings about pain. Pain is a choice. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of comments on that. Pain is a choice, meaning you don't have to have it. Here's a good example. Have you ever noticed a kid, okay, a little child playing on the playground, running across the playground, he falls, skims his knee, and before he screams bloody murder, he looks around. No one's watching. He doesn't scream. Runs all the way home, he's fine. As soon as he gets in the house and shows it to mom, he starts screaming bloody murder again, okay? And she kisses the boo-boo and it goes away. Okay, so it was a choice. Now, has that ever happened to you? Well, think about it. Have you ever been so overwhelmed at home? You're doing things, you have your keys in your hand, and you're so overwhelmed that you can't even find your keys, But anyways, you're running out of the house. You cut yourself, maybe your hand or your leg, you don't realize it, but you're in the car driving, a few minutes later, ow, where did that come from? I cut myself. And then the pain starts. Where was it from here to there? Okay, so it was a choice. It was something once you realize it hurt, okay, then you showed it. Matter of fact, the thing about the child, I just popped in my head about, well, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, I was doing some work with my drill, and you should see me with the drill. It's kind of a scary sight. Raluca had gone to Walmart to do a little bit of shopping, okay? And I was drilling this screw in the wall, and it slipped and bang on my finger. I went to yell, and I realized she wasn't in the house. So I was fine. It was one of those gotcha things, okay? Okay. I want to comment on that. Giving birth is plenty painful, okay? It is if you're programmed that way, all right? Listen to this. There are countries, okay, where giving birth is such a happy thing that the children are told when you grow older, all the family's going to be there, it's going to be wonderful, it's going to be blissful, and for them it is. Because that's how they're conditioned. Our programming makes us the way they are. They are told it's going to be such a wonderful, happy thing that it happens to be that way. Now, what are we told over here? I know here in America, okay, I see some mothers looking at their children and say, you were 16 hours of the most miserable, painful, the pain that I could ever have. Well, what kind of programming are you getting here? The mother has a lot of pain in childbirth, and she says, oh, you're going to have your turn when you have a child. It's going to be so painful. They're conditioned to have pain. Just like having a root canal or a tooth yanked. You're conditioned that it's going to hurt like crazy. About 3 months ago, I had a tooth extracted at a dentist, And I remember I'm sitting back, and he had that big needle, and he's in my mouth, and I'm waiting, bracing myself for it to hurt. And he looks at me, he goes, "It's done." You see what I mean? I mean, it's a taught behavior. Okay? So let's go back to this subjective versus objective. If pain is subjective, and I want to change it, all I need to do is change its nature. So if I can make it objective, it can no longer be pain. If you change it from subjective, something that's in your head that can't be seen, touched, and change its nature to objective, it cannot be pain. It has to be something else. Similar to a caterpillar. You have a caterpillar, he turns into a butterfly, grows wings, grows antennas and legs. Okay, once it's a butterfly, it can't be a caterpillar again. Try yanking off its antennas, its wings, and its legs, and see if it goes into being a caterpillar. Well, other than being cruel, I mean, it's going to be a dead butterfly with no legs, wings, and antenna, okay? It just can't go back, and it's the same thing. So how do we change subjective from objective? You'll notice in almost every hypnosis script, it's done the same way, by using the imagination. Imagining the pain as the shape of an object, as something that you can get rid of. You see scripts where they say, imagine the pain as a football, and as you kick the football out of sight, so goes the pain. Imagine it as doves flying away. Imagine it as a rock, and you're throwing the rock over this waterfall. Just don't imagine it as a boomerang, okay, because it's going to come back to you. But imagine it as something you can get rid of, and by using your imagination, you can get rid of it, okay? The reason for this is the subconscious mind does not understand the difference between a real or an imagined memory. Think of that. It doesn't understand the difference between a real or an imagined memory. They hold the same value. Okay? So, how can you do this? Okay? Let me give you a little program, actually a process I read once, and I've kind of adapted it to my own thing, and it works really well. You can think of this for yourself. Now, whenever I do this with someone, I've even done it over the telephone, okay? Whenever you're asking these questions that I'm going to ask you, write them down. Write down the answers, because you're going to use this back with your client or with the patient. So here's how it goes. And by the way, before you go doing this with anyone, remember, pain is a warning signal. Before you get rid of pain, you better know what it's from. So never get rid of pain unless it's been checked out by a doctor, and the doctor says I cannot, do anything about it. And if you're not a medical or a mental health practitioner, okay, don't deal with pain unless you have a note from the doctor, okay? The only ones I've done it with are friends and family, clients. They better give me a note, because I don't want to be held liable. Because if you don't get rid of the pain, you're in trouble, okay? So here's how it works. First of all, make sure the pain isn't from anything serious like, chest pain, because if you get rid of chest pain, that person could be in a world of hurt. So something that the doctor's checked out and he can't do anything about it. Let's say arthritis, back pain, things like that there. So give the pain the shape of a box. So imagine the pain as a box. Do this with yourself if you want. If you were to take the pain and put it in a box, or make it a box, what size would it have to be? Somebody would say, oh, maybe let's see, I don't know if you can see this or not. Here we go. So the size of the box would be, let's say, a shoe box. So what's that, about 6 inches by 15 inches? We'll put down a shoe box for those countries that don't use inches, okay? So if it had a shape of a box, it would be the size of a shoe box. Now, if that pain, or this box, had a color, what color would it be? Think about it. So the person that has the pain is thinking brown. A lot of them will say brown or rust. If that pain had a sound, what would it sound like? And oh, somebody said red over here. Okay, it would sound. Like I just did this in the class a couple days ago, and the person said screeching. That's one that I get quite often. If it had a taste, what would it taste like? Let's see. For me, I'd say pickles, okay? Bitter, sour. Actually, bitter is one of the most common. So we'll go bitter. All right, so this box, it's the size of a shoebox. It's brown. I like to go through it and repeat it to the clients a little bit. It's brown. It has a screeching sound. It tastes bitter. What does it smell like? What does it smell like? Sometimes I get sulfur. Sometimes I get rotten cabbage, this kind of thing. So foul. If somebody says foul, though, be more specific. Foul, like a garbage dump. Okay, be specific. Don't just let them say something vague, because it's not going to be as visual. The more precise they can get, the more of a picture they're painting in their mind. So let's say garbage dump. Okay, once again, there's a box. The paint is now a shoebox. Imagine it. It's brown. It has a screeching sound. It's bitter. It smells like a garbage dump. Imagine yourself holding it in your hands right in front of you now. How heavy is it? So, weight. I don't know a lot about kilos and that because we use that over here. So, let's go 2 pounds. So 2 pounds, so whatever they say, a ton, okay? Hopefully they won't say a ton by this time, because normally by the time you get to here, in the majority of cases, I'd say at least 80% of the cases, anyways between the smell and the weight, they stop you and they say, wow, the pain is gone. This is wonderful, okay? So if not, by the time you're done, if it's not gone, there's just going to be a very little left, okay? And if there's a little bit left, hey, how much is a little? Out of 100% pain, if you get it down to 10, is it livable? Are they happy with that? If not, you can do the whole process again and get rid of it even more. Now, there's one last thing I like to do with this is, again, we had it visual, but I want to get rid of it. So I'll tell them, imagine the box, go through the whole scene again. It's in your hands, okay? Imagine yourself walking over to the window, opening up the window. Look out the window, there's a raging river going over a waterfall into the abyss. Throw that box, watch it go out of sight and gone forever out of your life. Okay, so that kind of gets it away from them. Now the beauty of doing something like this is once you've done it, the client has that in their mind, and you say, hey, anytime you have pain or anything else that you want to deal with like this, go ahead and use it on your own. It's a great self-hypnosis scenario. When Raluca has a headache, a lot of times we're driving down the road, she goes, oh, I have a headache. And I see her close her eyes for a moment. She opens them, oh, I'm fine, because she went through the scenario, okay? She took the subjective, turned it into objective, and got rid of it. So it makes a great self-hypnosis thing. Now think of what else can it be used for? What else is subjective other than pain? Anxiety, fear. There's a lot of different things you can use this for. Matter of fact, we're talking about fear. Okay, fear is in your head. Fear is not real. Matter of fact, if you look at the word fear as an acronym, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Okay, it's false evidence appearing real. Where is fear? In the past and in the future. It's not here, just like stress, okay? Because you're afraid of what's going to happen. You're afraid of what did happen. It's kind of like those scary movies where you're talking to somebody, you look out the window and you see the scarecrow moving at the edge of the cornfield. You look again and he's gone. You're afraid, oh, the bill collector's coming, and he doesn't come. So, again, fear isn't real. It's subjective. All you need to do is change that to objective. So you can do that with fear, with pain, with stress, with a lot of different things, okay? So the idea of using imagination to change your thinking, to change your mind, is a wonderful idea. Even with healing, we use imagination in healing all the time. There's so many different things you can do. There's not a lot of written scripts about it because everyone's pain is different, but think of some of the things that you can do to get rid of pain. Excuse me, for healing. Okay? Some of you, or most of you, have probably seen the movie Braveheart. Okay, Braveheart. It's I believe the Scottish against the British, and of course the British had beat them. But how about if we tweak that? Okay, and well, actually, I'm not going to use any specific people because there might be Scottish and British watching. I don't want to cause any things, but kind of like the movie Braveheart. You have one large force over here going to war with a smaller force over here. Let's call the larger force the good blood cells, or the healing energy, whatever you want to call it. And this is the negativity, whatever they're trying to get to heal from, whether it be the cancer cells or the injury or whatever. Okay, so I want you to look at these two forces, and this is what you're telling the person in hypnosis. In just a moment, we're going to have a battle where the good is going to annihilate the bad. But before we do, I want you to realize that the good, there's about 10,000 soldiers. And the bad, there's only 50. Oh boy, that's kind of off balance. These 10,000 soldiers, they're powerful warriors. They all have the sharpest weapons and the latest of weaponry. And these 50 on this side, the negative part, they have those plastic props that they use in Hollywood, okay? And they're not big warriors. They're kind of a mixture between Pee Wee Herman and Mr. Bean, all right? And they all have a limp. Okay, so in other words, they can't get away. So in a moment, we're going to have this battle where this big force is going to get the small force. And if any of these guys, any stragglers get away, you're going to send 50 of your best men. Then you tell the person, close your eyes and go. And it's amazing when you do something like this because you can actually look and see their eyelids, and underneath their eyelids, their eyeballs are going everywhere, so you know something's happening. So that's just one scenario. You can use, for a lot of the spiritual people, the healing white light. Imagine a healing white light above your head, descending over, and as it goes down, like a body scan, it heals you, going down more and more, pushing out any negative. It can be a healing white light that pours into the top of your head and goes right through your body, clearing out all the chakras, if you're into chakras. Anything like that, using the imagination where good battles bad and can win easily. Now, of course, the healing white light is a lot less violent than this, but get an idea of what kind of client you're dealing with so you know what you're going to use, okay? Another kind of thing, you could tell somebody, imagine there's a big tunnel in front of you, okay? You're looking into a tunnel. It's a safe tunnel. Even in your imagination, negative things can come up. But imagine that you're looking into a tunnel. I see the lights going away here. It's getting dark. So you're looking into a tunnel and it's pitch dark. Now, this kind of uses the old yin-yang type theory, opposites. A lot of people feel they can't get rid of pain or get rid of their injury or make it better, but they feel they can make it worse. So what I do is I tell them to stand in front of that pitch dark tunnel and take one step in. And as you do, you can feel it accentuate a little bit the pain. Not enough to hurt you, just very little, and as you do, nod your head. Now take another step in, and as you take another step in, you feel it going back to where it was, but getting better. And with every step you take in the tunnel as you go forward, each and every step you're feeling stronger and stronger, better and better, until you come out on the other end. And when you come out on the other end, as you go into the other end, you see the light. Don't tell them to walk into the light, that could be dangerous, but walk towards the light. And when they come out on the other side, they are totally healed, or they are stronger. Whatever it is you need to use it for, the pain is gone. That's one of those scripts that can be used for anything at all. So again, as they're walking through, they're feeling better and better until they come out on the other side feeling great. Think of it, that can also be used as a self-healing or a self-hypnosis technique as well. So I gave you a few ideas tonight of how you can eliminate stress, how you can, what stress does, how to eliminate it with using, that's where I'm pointing, using laughter and all the different things. We spoke about pain, we spoke about healing. There's a lot of different things you can do. Matter of fact, if you need more ideas, download our free hypnosis manual. Just come to my webpage. We have a 446 page hypnosis manual. Gives a lot of techniques, a lot of ideas on eliminating stress and health in general. Okay, so before we go any further, if there's any major questions, I'll go ahead and answer them. If not, we're going to have another drawing tonight, another contest for a couple of products here. But before, let's see. Let me go down here and screen down. It looks like nothing else is there. Any questions? My daughter wants to know if there is a robber right in front of me. Isn't that fair? Why would you want to know that? I don't understand that. Why would you ask something like that? You'll have to deal with that one. That's not a everyday question. Let's see. I don't see anything over here. So I guess like the person said earlier, I must have did a good job. So here's what we're going to do. This I'm giving away something tonight that's going to help you to understand the mind a lot more, okay? We were talking about the alpha brainwave state and the theta brainwave state, and a lot of you people probably aren't familiar with brainwave states yet. We'll speak about that in the future, but what I'm going to do tonight is I'm actually going to be giving away 3 of these books, okay? This is one of my latest books. It's called Getting Out of Your Mind, okay? And the subtitle, Expanding Mental Abilities to Create Reality. Basically, this book is the brainwave states on steroids. It breaks them down into not only the 4 basic brainwave states, the alpha, theta, beta, and delta, but it gets into gamma, hypergamma, epsilon. It gets into an awful lot. It shows you what you can do in the brainwave states, how you can help people. In the back, okay, on the back, one of my favorite sayings, it's the biggest small book you'll ever read, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Matter of fact, I don't know if all of you copied that link at the beginning that I had on the line. So I'm going to get this link for you. And I am going to copy and paste a link here on the chat section. And I want you folks all to go ahead and copy it. Matter of fact, if you click on the link, it should open another pop-up window. It shouldn't close this one. But let's see. This is our YouTube site, okay, that's right there. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the YouTube site, but don't leave here yet. What we're going to do is, okay, I want to try to get people to subscribe to the YouTube site, which is going to help me to let you know when we have future trainings. The reasons you want to get on there is, number one, every training we have here, we post on there afterwards, plus I have an awful lot more training over there about the mind and different things that we do, okay? But what we're going to do is, between now and tomorrow, okay, for anyone who subscribes, okay, what I want you to do is actually go over there, not for anyone, but I want you to go over there and subscribe and leave a comment. I'll tell you what to say. And tomorrow night at 5 p.m., okay, we're going to give you up until 5, okay, everyone, what we're going to do is we're going to choose the people who have basically left a comment and subscribe to our YouTube site, and we're going to choose 3 out of that group, and we're going to give them 3 of our download copies of this, okay, because I know a lot of you people are in different countries, so we're going to give you 3 of this download copies of this. So what we're going to be able to do is get your emails and send them right to you directly. We'll announce who got it next week. Now here's what you're going to need to do, okay, so when you click on that site, don't do it right away. I want you to wait till this video is on. Right after the video is over, I'm going to upload it. Probably takes about half an hour. Once I upload it, go to the bottom of this video and subscribe and leave a comment, okay? And here's what I want you to leave in the comment. What you would like to see us talk about in the future, or just say you'd like to enter the contest. That's simple, okay? Now, anytime we upload other videos in the future, if you're not able to make it or you get bumped, as soon as we load a video onto YouTube, you'll be notified immediately in an email. It's an automated thing letting you know that another video is coming on. So don't rush over and do that right now. If you're already subscribed, I see some people are saying that. If you're already subscribed, still go to that video sometime within, between now and tomorrow morning, and still leave a note and say hi, or, you don't have to resubscribe, but still leave a note saying hi or what you'd like to see in a future presentation. And of course we say hi, I want to apply for the free drawing, okay? Other than that, let's see, I had a couple announcements I wanted to make real quick. As all of you know, we're going to be doing this as long as we can. I'd like to continue doing this every Tuesday night. We have a lot of really good ideas of things we want to do in future ones. So we want to continue doing it on different subjects each Tuesday night. Now for next week's going to be a little different. We're actually going to be using next week as a promo for our upcoming past life regression group sessions we're going to be doing on Thursdays, okay? So next Tuesday night, we're going to be doing a free group past life regression session right here on Ustream, all right? So when you come on next week, be in a comfortable chair if you want to experience a past life regression. Now, I realize a lot of you get bumped, so between now and then, I'm working on having another program. I'm going to have another computer running at the same time while we're outside, and it's going to be a live telephone program. We're probably going to use Uvu, which I can actually view 10 people at a time. So I'm probably going to have something where I'm going to ask the first 10 people that come on to sign on to Uvu, where there's no commercials. They can see me, I can see them. I might even turn the screen around so you can all see the people on the screen. And we're going to do the session that way. Okay, we're also going to be giving a really good discount for anybody who wants to sign up for our paid past life regressions that we're going to be doing in the future. Those won't be on Ustream though. Those are going to be on something that you're not going to get bumped up on all the time, because then we know it's a pain to get bumped off. Okay, so that's going to be next week. Also, for those of you that, like I said, go to YouTube and sign up. But if you want to know when we decide to do some of these, because sometimes we do some of these live streaming not on Tuesday nights. If you want to know when they're coming up, I believe somewhere's on this site, I think just above my picture or below it, there's a place to actually sign in to Uvu on the in crowd. It says you'll want to be part of the in crowd, and if you click on that, it asks for your email address, and I think you have to confirm it. And basically, anytime I post an upcoming thing, like you can see below, there's a couple upcoming events, you will be notified about it immediately, so that way you won't miss them. We're going to try to do one, here and there during the week on different topics. Let's see, is that pretty much all I have? Oh, also, if you're interested in seeing these future scheduled events, I'm going to put a link for that also. Let's see. If you go to our website on our free script page, okay, yes, we do have a page with free scripts as well as paid scripts and books. And here's the link to that. Oops. Okay, it's oops, no, that was the wrong one. Don't look at that one. I'm sorry. It gave me the same. It gave me the same page. That's the YouTube copy. Okay, here it is. This one. ChooseHypnosis.com/scripts.htm. When you go to that page, at the top, you're going to see a calendar of events. It shows all the different things we're doing over the next few weeks, few months, and even some of the upcoming events. We're going to be doing group past life regression sessions. We're going to be doing group contacting spirit sessions. We're also going to start my PATH program I developed years ago. It's a group, PATH, P-A-T-H is an acronym, Positive Approach Towards Healing. There's a lot of things we got coming up. Law of Attraction courses, you name it. So keep an eye on that schedule, and you'll be able to see when things are coming up. And other than that, I would like to thank you all for visiting, and remember, go to our YouTube site. I should have that up in about an hour or so, however long it takes to download, and we're going to be giving away 3 of these books. So if you want to get out of your mind, make sure you do it. Thanks a lot for attending, and have a great evening. See you next week.